Alright, forgive me if I titled this video again, Reasons Why Most African Marriages Crash in the Diaspora. Because the points I may be sharing and discussing in this very content are some of the comments people shared in the recent video I uploaded about a month ago or over a month ago regarding why most African marriages do not last in the diaspora. You know, a lot of people shared their own experiences, accounts, what they've witnessed around them in the comment section. And I screenshotted some of these comments. I'll be reading them out here while we discuss them. If any of the comments, it's you, please learn and try to adjust. I am not saying you should. I say please learn from it and adjust. Borrow a new leaf. Yes, in order to help your family to continue staying together, you know, the way it was or better than your family was in Africa. There is always need to learn and relearn some of the things that are not right. Okay, and I would also want you to make your own contribution as I read out some of these comments. Thank you once again for your constant support. Please do not forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming back for more. Alright, straight to the point. I wouldn't mention names, please. My own wife did worse than this. Brought her own mom without telling me and kept her in a hotel, only to bring her into my house whenever I go to work. The only thing she has not done is getting me in trouble with the authority, and that's because she has not found the opportunity to do so. I think this so-called marriage should be abolished. Jesus, this person is so tired of marriage, thinking about this. And why would a woman brought her own mother all the way from Nigeria? Yes, it is your mom. All the way from Nigeria without letting your husband know. You know, this is just a comment in my video. Guys, I have heard this story in real life. It happened. A woman brought her mother to the UK. And guess what? This woman is a dependent to the husband. She brought her mom all the way from Nigeria to the UK without the husband's consent. This woman's son is different for the fact that she also brought the mom into the house where she is staying with the husband. The husband pays the rent and all of that. You did not give your husband any hint because both of you were having some disagreement as at that point. It doesn't give you the right as a woman to take that big step without informing your man. You know, he is your husband. You are depending on his visa. You are depending on him traditionally, socially, religiously, and otherwise. Forget about official dependence on visa. I am talking about marriage-wise and culturally wise, socially wise. A woman is the husband's dependent, no matter what. So why would anybody take such a huge step without letting the husband know? Your own mother. And possibly, the mom might be aware of this plan. Yes, for you to have. Goodness me. Anyway, what do you think about this number one issue? I asked this guy in the comment section, were you having issues with your wife? Why was she hiding her mom from you? I don't know. I am not going to be the judge, but definitely it is obvious something has not been right for the woman to have done something like that. But I am not in support of such. Second comment, I know a couple in North America who have 2 children, 8 years and 1 year plus, that recently separated after 3 years abroad. The wife was doing 2 jobs because the husband was choosy about work types. As if that was not enough, the husband would sit at home pressing TV channels and will not give the children food. In this comment, the wife does 2 different jobs. The man was choosing. This choosy of a thing is something very common among our men, you know, coming to abroad with their wives. Men are usually choosy. You know the kind of job our men do back home, their class and their level, and the kind of job that people do here. At first, it is usually difficult for most of our men to come down low to doing certain job that would fetch them money to sustain their families. They would wait and keep on seeking for that high class job, official job, you know, white collar job and all of that. They will spend months. By the time they realize that this white collar job is not forthcoming, that would be when a lot of them would make a U-turn to accepting to starting a warehouse job, security job. Care is the list among the jobs our men would like to do. Some of them would prefer to work in Amazon's packaging job, warehouse jobs, rather than taking up care work, you know. Because sometimes if you come in here with your husband as a student, it is always good, let the man be the student. You know, I was just saying the opposite, that a woman should be the student so that a man can take up that full-time job role. Unfortunately, I was wrong. I was wrong, because if a man was the dependent, it is difficult at times for a man to take up care work. And you know, the COS sponsorship visas are readily available in care compared to, it's hard for Amazon to give you COS as a man. It's hard for McDonald's to give you COS. It's hard to get COS doing a cleaning job. Security job can hardly offer one COS, but these are the kind of jobs our men like doing, compared to the women who are willing to take up this care job. So this is why I agreed to the person that argued with me recently that it is better for a man to be the student while the woman, it depends on your status back home, because some men, they are well to do. They're just bringing their family here for security reason. That is it. And they will still be bringing money from Nigeria because they have investment hotels and all of that. So they don't bother. But in this case, stop being choosy. This is why this woman went on to be doing 2 jobs. Imagine, with 8-year-old child and another one who is 1+, a year plus, and she does 2 different jobs. The man was still home being choosy. This is enough to trigger a woman. You know, women, sometimes we don't take rubbish, especially when we are the breadwinners. It gets here, you know, because it's like doing something upside down. When a man's supposed to play his role, you find yourself as a woman. You found yourself as a woman taking up that position, and the man is not helping again. Especially you come back from work, everything, the children, they say the man would not even give them the food. Who won't be angry? Tell me, who won't be angry at that? The third comment, I believe most couples from Nigeria never really discuss some issues they survived in Nigeria because of the environment, and the UK brought out the harsh reality in them. Example, I learned how to cook from a young age due to the influence of my parents. Good guy. Same way with domestics. I came to the UK to join my wife. She knows my personality of divide and conquer. My job is more flexible than hers. I do 80% of the shopping. She has to write the list of what is needed. I clean up and cook a bit. She handles the area I can't. The UK is divide and conquer as a couple. The same thing with finances. I always emphasize on effective communication between us, and things work out just fine. Be open about everything, down to how to purchase or spend money. It is really sad when I see couples split due to ego or gender responsibilities. God bless you, sir. I wish I could put your name here, you know. So this is crystal clear. This gentleman already knew or knows how to do domestic works from Nigeria, how to cook and clean. Kudos to your parents. This is why I'm training my boy how to do all of this. I wouldn't want to stress my daughter-in-law. This morning he made his egg, everything, breakfast by himself. You know, served himself and ate. Yes, I wouldn't want to suffer my daughter-in-law. So you see, even finances and everything, how they purchase, the wife would make less, the man would go and buy and all of that. This is understanding. Proper communication, like he emphasized here. One of the days I went to one of the supermarkets here, Iceland. I saw an African man, he was pushing pram, carrying a baby in a pram, shopping. The man was just looking at me. I said, this man, stop looking at me now. I don't know why men feel uncomfortable, especially our African men doing all of that. There is nothing wrong in doing that. Nothing. Oh my goodness. I hope you are learning from all of these comments. The next comment I have here: what about the man that does not ever see anything wrong in his actions? So we never apologize. Moves out of the bedroom, stops eating his wife's food after 20 years of marriage. This one is still behaving childish after 20 years of marriage. Wants her wife to hand over all her earnings to him, despite the wife bringing 50% of her income. Wow. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, he was contributing 80% to the household management. Here in the UK, he also earns more, yet wife contributes almost 50%. I think when people get older and earn pounds, it makes them change, become greedy. By the way, this person I'm talking about is a pastor. She puts oh God, people are really going through stuff in their marriage, to be honest. 20 years of marriage, a man is earning higher than the wife. Back home, he was contributing 80%, and here the wife is even contributing. Because I know a lot of families, the wife would be like, okay, the feeding money I will be in charge while my husband pays the bills and rent. Some would say, okay, my wife will pay this bill and pay that, why I pay that. It works. So in this woman's case, she's contributing almost 50%. Definitely she's doing some things, paying some bills, or maybe catering for feeding for the children. 20 years of marriage. Why would issue of, he said, when some people start earning in pounds, I think, what did she say? Then I think when people get older and earn pounds, it makes them change and become greedy. My sister, no, I don't think that should be. I don't think. It's a pity learning that your husband is a pastor and still thinks and acts in this manner. You might talk to one of the elders in the church to speak to him. Yes, this is my advice. He's a pastor. Yes, talk to one of the elders or two of the elders to speak to him about this, so that this wouldn't bring problem to you guys after 20 years of marriage. No way, it shouldn't be. The next comment: thank God for my wife, oh, she is a good woman. Oh my God. As a dependent, irrespective of our African background as men, I do my best to support my wife, take care of kids when she is off to work, do the school runs, cook before she returns, tidy everywhere, and still do my part-time work. Okay, this man works part-time, if not for anything, because it is what I also expected when I'm out for work too, and because it is our family and we must make it work. The children must be catered for. We cooperate fine. We practice financial oneness, even right from Nigeria. Nothing like my money, your money in my house. We use the same passwords, same pins, same ATM pins across all accounts. Nothing hidden, nothing broken. Let me add that one. Our spending and money, that's financial management, even makes more sense when we put money together. This life not too hard like that. What exactly is the problem, for Christ's sake? Next comment. This is from a woman. I just divorced my Yoruba husband and I can't thank God enough. We were together for 23 years. He only worked, I think she was trying to write 4 days a week or 4 years, while I worked full-time and caring for a family full-time. He would sit on the couch watching Yoruba movies while I bring money in, do all domestic chores. and care for the children. I gave him our money so he could pay our home bills, but he was busy pursuing women and building a house in Nigeria in his own name. He also purchased our current home, but put only his name, Habba. He almost sold our home here, but God exposed his actions to me. Now, the law is dealing with the matter in the most effective way, and I can't thank God and the system enough. This is pathetic. This is pathetic. Can I outrightly say that it is so wrong? A woman is giving you money, her own money, to take care of the family, to make an investment back home. Although she said that the man was building the house in Nigeria in his own name, it did not include the woman that was providing the money. Haba, this is bad. And he purchased their current home here in the UK, but put only his name. Are you kidding me? He almost sold our home here. No, this is too bad. This is really too bad. What is marriage when people do not trust each other, when people cannot do things together as a couple? They cannot put their resources together and invest. Your wife's name should be in your property. Your husband's name should be there, not as a next of kin. No, co-owner. A couple's name should be on their property, not just one-sided. This is really bad. Yes, I got the next question. Thank you so much for your nuggets of wisdom. I am currently facing this issue now. I have a daughter who is a toddler, less than 3 years. Yes, my husband wants me to work a full-time job. I told him it's better I get a part-time one because of our daughter, but he still does not understand. Why are you pushing your wife to take up a full job when your child is not of school age? Less than 3 years. It's not, the child has not even started reception. Who would look after that child? Allow her to take up a part-time job, especially if you are working full-time, so that your child can be properly cared for. Unless you have money for daycare. If you can afford to be paying for daycare, it is quite expensive. 15 hours is not enough. Then both of you can go on and work and forget your family. It's quite sad. The next question, the next comment. As an Igbo man living in abroad or not, whose family tradition still gives siblings power to share the man's property and wealth in his person, I have only one advice. Don't buy anything in your name if you don't trust your wife enough to buy those things in her name. What is even marriage without trust? Put all your assets in a trust and name your wife and children sole beneficiary with equal rights. In this case, you technically don't own anything. Everything I have is in my wife's name, except what I am buying do not have a receipt. My simple reason, I don't want my kids to suffer what I suffered 32 years ago after the passing of my parent. His family members took everything valuable and invaluable, and they said it is tradition. Some of these comments I got, I think I still have another one. I have made a single video about this one, whether a woman, as a woman, would you contribute to your husband's investment, especially when he wouldn't want to put your name in that property. Is it an idea? You might check up that video. I wouldn't want to, a whole video I made on that. Yes, the next comment, it worked for us. He worked early and I worked late. We agreed that he would cook and clean when he was home, and I would do the same when home. Planning helps. We also made sure we spent our times off work together and planned our holidays together. Our son is 17 years now and things are much better. Planning helps a lot. Communication, have an agreement, defined agreement as to what to do. I think it works rather than bearing grudges. You've not told your husband that him not helping out makes you angry. You've not told your woman staying at home does not help. I need you to contribute 20-30%. Speak, talk, communicate your thoughts. Don't just nurse it inwardly without sharing it. You go around bearing grudges, being angry unnecessarily. It's better you communicate it so that both of you can work it out together. Alright guys, this is it. I don't know what else you think. I hope these comments that I've discussed and shared here so far would help a lot of people to pick up and see how they can amend, change some narratives in their homes. You know, if you are a man, you know that the way of life here is entirely different. Like I kept hammering in most of my videos so far, domestic chores is something that is overwhelming here for just one person. Helping is important. If you are a woman, a man does not pay the entire bills unless your man chooses otherwise and say, my wife, don't worry, I can do it. Yes, I can do it all by myself. Then you don't have to bother. If not, ask him and see how much you can contribute to save your family. You know, think like a couple. In marriage, they say 1 + 1 = 1, isn't it? So everything should be 1 in one, not one account too. Even though you have a joint account as a couple, I advocate that couples should also have separate bank accounts. Yes, if you have a joint one, maybe for investment, depending on what you guys want to do with that joint account. There is no manual to marriage. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your joint account or what not to do with that, because people have their way of doing things in their homes, you know, but people should agree, you know. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. I hope this helped you to adjust and move forward. Yes, it is sad hearing all the sad stories about African marriages not surviving in diaspora. A lot of them is ongoing. Prudence, Prudence. There is a lady now currently trending on YouTube. She's also a YouTuber. I think Prudence by name. Her marriage just went after 3 children. You know, it's quite a pity that these things are happening more often in diaspora, guys. Anyway, guys, thank you once again for your constant support. I appreciate that. See you again in my next upload. Bye for now.